So, this video I want to talk about reality. What is reality? Okay, we're going to use that word a lot because I understand it best using that word. When I talk about reality, I'm talking about different locations of space and time. This means going to someone else's house, going to the store, going to the park. All those places are different realities, different experiences you are having in each location. You will experience a different interaction of life when you're at the park rather than if you're at home, okay? Obvious. And when I say reality, I mean just different interpretation of the setting that you exist in, a different place, okay? But let's extend it. Instead of going from one store to another store, one bar to another bar, a house to another house, they extend to worlds. You would have a whole completely different setting if you were on Mars than Earth, or than if you were at Neptune than Mars, you know? And then if we extended even more, if you were in a different galaxy, if we extended more, if you were in a different reality. What does that mean? Really, a different reality is just a location that has a different set of laws or a different, different present outcome. What do I mean by this? If I would step into a gateway, a wormhole, and I would go to another reality that was just like this, that would just mean I'm here. But if I went to a reality to where everything's the same but the sun is blue, right? There's going to be different laws, different present moment, different settings of reality just because the sun is blue instead of yellow or whatever you want to call it color. That is a different reality. If you would step into the world of Marvel, DC, comic books, that's a different reality because of different laws of existence. You go to DC, people can fly, people are strong. Whole different version of creation. And we're going to be talking about that. Okay? But we're going to try to stick, I talk about those things in reference of this reality, but most things I talk about will be conceptual, but it will be portraying this reality. The reality that you exist on. But in this reality, there are different levels of reality happening on top of each other. An easy explanation is that there are different houses. Every house you go into has been specifically designed for the people who live there. If you go to Target or Walmart, or you go to those kind of stores, those stores are specifically designed to cater to what management or the owner or CEO cares for their store to be like. Those are different realities, just on a very small scale. Okay? Divine reality. What is divine reality? Divine reality is aspects of this reality we live in that are not manipulated or changed or created by us. So the camera that I'm speaking into, we created that. Human beings in our ingenuity created something that can capture reality and make it into a video or a picture, and we call that a camera or a video recorder. Okay? But it didn't exist at the beginning. Someone had to create it. But water existed before manipulation. Air existed. You know, organisms existed. The sun existed. Planets, stars, dust, matter, atoms, they all existed. Those are part of divine reality. It's unchangeable. Unchangeable. It's the laws of existence. That's what divine reality is. It's unchangeable laws of reality that even if you wanted to manipulate it, we couldn't do it. We can't make matter not matter. We can't make energy. We can't say, okay, well, that chair is made out of matter. We're going to create the building blocks of creation so it cannot be made of matter but of something else. That's beyond us. We cannot do that. There's nothing we can do about that. We can't change the sun. We can't say we don't like the sun, let's put another star there. No, we can't do that. And even if we did that, it's just outside our comprehension and our ability, right? At least for now. This is what we call divine reality. Unchangeable laws of existence that we cater to, that we are submissive of, that we are lower than. We have to breathe air. This is what it is. For now, we have to breathe air. For now, we die. We get old. You know, we live on planets. You know, that's divine reality, okay? Everyone has to build the individual reality and the general reality around the divine reality. The divine reality is number one. It's the landscape of us creating other versions of reality, right? Okay. When we go into an individual reality, now that we understand divine reality is just existence before the manipulation of humans or other factors. It was just there. It just appeared there. Okay? Individual reality, on the other hand, that's the individual consciousness of how we interpret the reality. What do I mean by that? Well, if I invite my friend over to my house, I design my house so I'm okay with it or I like it. So it's designed for me. I am okay with it. He may come in and say, oh, this house is garbage. I don't like how it looks. You know, this is not fun. This is not something that I would create. But that's fine. You didn't create it. That's his reality. He took in the information. He took in the settings. He took in the reality of my house. Did not like it. I may take him to a concert, and he may not like the music playing. He doesn't like my reality, my preferences, the information that I portray to. Why? Because he has his own individual reality, his own preferences, his own emotion, how he interacts with reality. So an individual reality is the perception of the individual creates their reality. The more a person knows himself, the more he is aware of himself, the more he can manipulate and change the reality towards himself. If he doesn't like cats, someone who's never got a cat don't really know if they like it or not. But someone who's been around another person's cat can get an understanding of if they maybe like cats or not like cats, right? With that example, he may be like, oh, I love cats. You know, I love the energy they give, or I hate cats. I hate how they are. And based upon that, he can create an individual reality based around his preferences, his emotions, and his rationality and understanding of reality. So really, individuality is perception. It's how we encounter the divine reality, how we understand it on an individual level, and how we want to manipulate it to best suit us. The person who created popcorn, right? Yeah, maybe he saw it as a good idea, irrelevant. He saw an aspect of reality and said, oh, popcorn. I think corn, pop it, or whatever the case, how he did it, is good. It tastes good. He manipulated reality through his mind to create a better reality about himself. I highly doubt he would make popcorn without thinking it was a good idea or he liked it himself. Either way, even if he did or not, he thought it'd be a good idea to implement it to the world. This is what happens with individual reality. It's the interaction of information of the divine reality and then the manipulation of our minds with that said divine reality. That's just pretty much us going through the world and doing things that we like to do and seeing what happens. And if we don't like an aspect of reality, we try to change it to best suit what we like. If I come to a house and it's dirty, I'm gonna say I don't like a dirty house, so I'm gonna clean it. But someone else may be okay with it, or may even like a dirty house. and they want to keep it the same, okay? Individuality is just your perception. It's your perception, but with that perception, it's also the execution and manipulation of divine reality. This is how we create things. I just talked about the popcorn thing. So it's the perception, it's the execution, and the manipulation. Execution and its manipulation. Okay? This is getting kind of a lot, so let me get rid of this stuff. But that is individual reality. If you know yourself, you can manipulate reality to best suit how you want reality to be. It's very important. That's why all the spiritual teachers, all the mystics, divine reality, know yourself and you know your potential. Period. Alexander the Great, if he didn't know that he was a great leader, he would have never had the confidence to conquer and lead as many people as he did. Period. But he knew it. When you see ancient mythological heroes, they wasn't stepping with, I think I can do it. They were stepping with, I know I can do it. And let's see how far I can go with what I know. Okay? Perception, execution, manipulation. That's individual reality. The clothes you wear, the energy you give off, how you speak to people, how you go to work, if you're on time or not. All that is how you perceive reality, how you execute it, and how you manipulate it. Individual reality. Now we're going to talk about general reality. This is society. Laws. Culture. Things of these natures. Understanding. Universal morality. Okay? So, human beings were on this planet, we gain consciousness and awareness, right? As we evolved, all we did pretty much was understand the divine reality to a certain extent and then start to manipulate it better suited for us. Our ancestors saw wood, stones, and manipulated that information, that aspect of reality, to make spears, bows, weapons, because they were living on survival and they wanted to better suit their survival, and making weapons increases their likelihood of killing and surviving, of offense and defense, okay? So that's divine reality intermixing with individual reality. Now, when you get a group of individuals, you ask yourself, how can everyone be an individual but not at the same time? Because for general reality to even exist, you have to have a group of individuals who agree collectively at certain aspects and mindsets of reality. AKA, society would not exist if you did not have somebody if you didn't have a group of people who agreed with that society. Rome wouldn't exist without the Romans. China wouldn't exist without the Chinese. And America wouldn't exist without Americans. And by them even existing, they agree with the society. That doesn't mean that you agree with every single thing the society does, but you agree with it enough to understand that this is where you are and this is who you are. And more likely than not, you are going to exemplify some attributes of that society. You're not going to go to China and pick out someone who's Chinese and they have no aspects of living in China. They don't speak the language, they don't know the customs, they don't know the culture. No, it's not possible, you know, because that's the information that they were absorbing. Period. So that's society. It's a agreed upon structure that affects the people who created it and the people who comes after it. Because when you're a child and you're raised to be an adult, you realize, oh, I'm in America, I'm in Canada, I'm in China, I'm in Russia. And regardless if I agree with it or not, you associate yourself with that society, okay? It's part of a general reality. This is when reality starts to get bigger. We went from, you know, stores, closing, but now we're on nations and countries. And then it even gets bigger to worlds. And then it gets bigger to dimensions. Okay? With this, you can't have a society without laws. In reality, the laws is the only thing that keeps society together. If there was a society with no laws, it wouldn't be a society. It would be every man for himself. It would be chaos. You need laws. Laws in society are pretty much intermixed together. It's how you hold society together. So agreed upon laws. And think of laws. What are laws? Why do you think we call, in science, we call things a law? And what does that mean? Like Murphy's Law, you know. It's an agreed, like almost, it's pretty much, it is a fact. It's factual in nature that you're alive. And I don't think too many people would disagree with it. Some people may disagree in some, you know, other aspects, but there are things in this world that we know are true. We call them laws. And so why do we have laws in society? Because these are the rules of reality that is agreed upon to the society. We don't like killing. We don't want to live in a society that's killing, so we're going to make it a law. That means that if you do not do it, you will be punished. Societal laws are a choice to where you can do it. There's no force stopping you. There's only a force that will punish you. The only force that stops you is your own mentality to not want to deal with the consequence. Okay? This is part of general reality. And then even the culture is part of general reality. What do you mean the culture? By the culture, I mean a set of beliefs that a group holds, okay? And they hold these beliefs so strong, they consider them a part of themselves. And then they give them, and they believe it so strongly, they push those beliefs out on their out on their offspring and future generations because they want those beliefs to stay true because they believe that that aspect of reality is true. This is the Mayan culture. This is the Aztecs. This is the Egyptian culture. Even the American culture. You know, we don't forget it because one, it's how the Egyptians got to be Egyptians. It's how people are prideful of who they are. It's kind of like an understanding of why and who they are. Boom. But it's part of a general reality. All this stuff is part of a general reality. Understanding. This is why, because we have societal laws, society, laws, and culture, it's all a general understanding of how to behave in a relation to a large group of individuals. This is why Americans can go to China and already know not to kill, because we have morality. What is morality but an instinct belief of what's right and what's wrong? And that happens normally in culture. There are some cultures where it's okay to hurt others. In the Spartan culture, it was okay just to kill weak individuals, or it was okay to say we don't care about nothing but making men into strong individuals. All other stuff don't care about, and killing and dying was fine. You know, so their morality was a little different than our reality, because in American reality and modern day 2022 reality, we publicly don't like killing and don't like death. We don't want to deal with it or think about it. We want to live as long as possible. All right? So society, laws, culture, morality, and understanding, universal understanding, all goes to general reality. Okay? General reality is the building blocks of our interpersonal dilemma of how to interact with reality. That's what it is. General reality, I speak in terms of human relations. Divine reality is laws, is why matter moves, Einstein's theory of relativity, what's gravity, matter, nothing goes faster than the speed of light. That stuff is all part of divine reality because those are creations of reality we had no manipulation towards. When it comes to individual and general reality, human beings have manipulation. In general reality is just individual reality on a mass scale. It's a whole bunch of individuals getting together to agree upon a reality. Okay, let's move on. What does this matter? What does this mean? Well, the reason why I'm talking about this is because I want you to understand and everyone to understand a few things is that, one, the divine reality set the stage for what you can do, what you can execute, and what you can be. Period. You cannot be more than what is divine reality. No way. Everything that you think about, that you create, all stems and can come back to the divine reality. The divine reality is number one. It's the first. Okay? And then individual reality, and general reality comes from divine reality. Why is that? Because the human mind thinks about things according to the information that it's exposed to. It's only exposed to the divine reality. And then through manipulation, remember I was talking about that in individual reality, through manipulation of divine reality, you start to create a general reality and an individual reality. Okay? At first, in evolution, we really had individual reality. You can't have culture until you get an agreed upon perspective of reality. And usually it's by very few people that gets many, or it's by many that collectively agrees. But before that, you cannot collectively agree on general reality before having an individual reality. You're not going to have everybody agree on America before everybody on an individual level agree about what America should be, home of the free, land of the brave, etc. Then once individuals agree upon it, then they try to translate it to this reality. This is called really democracy. This is what we try democracy to be. That we take everybody's account, and if the majority agrees on it because it's a good idea, boom. Okay. So that's why it's important. The divine reality rules of existence without the manipulation of human mind. Then the human mind manipulates divine reality to have an understanding and creation of individual reality. Okay? And then with that individual reality, you get enough people, it's going to create a general reality. Period. That is the landscape of where you are at. That is the landscape of the reality that we are in. Okay? Now I'm going to tell you, now this is, we're going to the end of the lecture, okay? Just to give you guys some clarity here is that divine reality is the rules of existence before the manipulation of the human mind Individual reality is the perception, execution, and manipulation of the divine reality based upon the intention of whoever is understanding the information of reality. And then general reality is the collective consciousness of those individuals who have a certain intent and agreed upon of a reality they want to go towards too. Okay? Now, a few tips about this is that divine reality is unchangeable. Divine reality, you cannot change. Don't try to change it. You can't change it in the sense that you can't make matter not matter. You can't make it not exist, but you can manipulate it. Manipulate it. So when you go out in this world of reality, don't try to focus on things you can't really control. If you try to focus on things that you cannot control, and we want to just completely throw it away or discard it, you can't really do it. But you can manipulate it. AKA, if you have a terrible job and you don't like the reality of that job, don't think that, I have to, I need to pay bills. Put in work to change that job, because you cannot change it. You will not say, I'm happy to be at this job. No, you don't like the job, period. Manipulate it. Either manipulate yourself in that reality, manipulate your individual reality, or manipulate the divine reality in the sense that you have to get a job. That's divine reality. In the reality we live in, you really have to work to be a functioning member of society if you want to live in like a city and stuff like that. So in a sense, that's kind of like divine reality. But really is general reality. But divine reality really is aspects of reality that you can't control, and human beings really have no control. But you can substitute that for things in general reality you also don't have control in. Well, you can't work and also have a whole bunch of money. You have to do something to attain money. So that's like agreed upon, right? So manipulate the situation to what best works for you. Don't focus on things outside your control. That's the point of understanding divine reality, okay? What it is, uncontrollable aspects of reality that even on a mass scale, we can't really change it. We can only manipulate it, okay? Now, individual reality, and this is why it's very important, because this is, honestly, if you want to know some tips, individual reality is a person's beliefs, understanding, and way of life. You're not, unlike this, you can change someone's individual reality. In the sense that you can only guide them for them to change themselves. That's what I mean by that. Only the individual can change their beliefs, understanding, and way of life. You can give them ideas, you can give them tips, but they are the creators of this reality. They are the creator. And the reason why I'm talking about this is that you are the creator of your individual life, regardless of the circumstances that you're in, okay? You are the creator. Now, an individual, most of the time, don't have enough power to change the general, they can't change the divine reality. Don't even think about that. But the individual reality and the general reality is based upon the divine reality. What does that mean? There are some aspects you can change because the individual and general reality are interchangeable. It changes. The divine reality really never changes. These are laws already set in place. So, individual reality is beliefs, understanding, and way of life. You can't really get someone to change their belief system so easily. It takes a lot. Give them information. That's why Jesus said, the apostles asked Jesus, and I use biblical references because it's easier to talk in relation to human beings, is that how many times should I try to give people the truth? Jesus said 3 times, after that let them go. Because no one can make someone believe. Belief is something that they create within themselves. So if someone don't believe it, oh well. But they are the creators of their beliefs, understanding, and way of life. oh, this is what I just believe. Okay, but you can change your belief system. With enough knowledge and information and understanding, your belief system constantly changes. Now, the general reality, and this is the funny part when you start understanding this. General reality is a reflection of the individual reality. It's really the same thing in a circle. At some point, we all agreed on the laws. We all agreed on the jobs. Now, maybe the people now didn't do it, didn't agree on these things, but human beings agreed on the general reality and the individual reality, period. Someone agreed on their belief system, understanding, way of life. And then individuals agreed upon what the general reality should be like in the rules of existence. So the reason I'm saying for you to understand all this is that there are some things you can control reality, and there are some things you can't. And the things you can are just a manipulation of divine reality. But they all fall in individual reality and general reality. Okay? Period. Focus on what you can change in your individual reality. Okay? Most people can't change the general reality. That takes a huge amount of people. Most people can't do it. But you can always focus on your individual reality, on your mindset, on your house, or your store, whatever the case may be. So focus more on that. But anyway, those are the tips. Divine reality, unchangeable laws of existence. Individual reality, mindset, beliefs, and how you perceive this reality. General reality is the collective consciousness of individuals at a certain time or age that agreed upon how a reality on a mass scale should be. Countries, cities, villages, stuff like that. All right. Thanks for the lecture. If it was interesting, let me know. Shoot me up if you guys have any ideas. But that is my take on these realities. If you want a more in-depth description of these three categories, they are in my book in the comment section, in the description section. Go check it out and read it. And read the book. It's only about 100 pages, but I talk about divine reality, individual reality, and general reality. All right? Peace.